Well, first, speaking at the Gasparilla Film Festival was exciting to give great exposure to Sarasota County, and the great things that we're doing here in Sarasota County as government, as a sheriff's office, law enforcement, the medical community, and the partnerships that we have here to stop what is a huge problem in Florida. Florida has been called the Oxy Express, similar to the cocaine cowboy days of the 1980s. And so speaking at the Gasparilla Film Festival was huge, not for me as sheriff, but for Sarasota County, that we're advanced, we're out in front, we're making a difference, not only about crime, but about people who are addicted to Schedule II drugs, to oxycodones, to the things that are really creating a huge issue in our society and creating our crime problems. So the legislative body failed at times when the sheriffs went to them and asked them for some help with this huge public safety issue and societal issue we have. So many communities and city governments or county governments had taken upon themselves to create the ordinances that we need tailored for our counties here in the region, especially the Manatee-Sarasota County area, to make sure that we are holding people accountable and making sure that those individuals who are using a Schedule II drug, the oxycodones, for improper purposes, those people who commit crimes are not being able to get access to them as readily available, but also making sure that those individuals who need those type of drugs have access to them and that the medical providers can get access for those individuals. So we're very disappointed if the legislative body preempts the local county ordinance that we have here in Sarasota County and has similar ordinances in the books up in Manatee County. And these are ordinances that were tailored for the quality of life of these communities and these counties. And that is not one size fits all in the state of Florida. This is a 67 county state that's very widely diverse, and every county sees something different in their communities, from crime to quality of life to what's going on. And so many things are cookie cutter and can be used statewide. This is not anything as cookie cutter, and it's disappointing that the legislative body is even considering preempting an ordinance that was designed for this county that would completely impact this county and take us right back to where we were 4 years ago, and we would become the Oxy Express of Sarasota County again.
What, I mean, I know you just touched on this, but what do you fear would happen if these bills do go through?
I would fear what happen is it's very disappointing that these bills are even being considered. If they go through, we will go back to what we were seeing 4 years ago when I took over the sheriff's office. I would highly anticipate our crime rate to go way back up. I would expect criminals to come back into our county, knowing that there's easy access to these type of drugs here and prescription drugs here in Sarasota County, and that we're very proud of the fact that Sarasota County has the highest crime rate reduction of any county of 100,000 citizen population or more. And that's purely because of the fact that we've targeted our crime problems. We worked with the medical community. We worked with the county government. We have an ordinance that fits everybody involved. And the physicians, the medical community, the county government, and the law enforcement all agree with this ordinance that it's the right thing for Sarasota County. If the legislative body preempts this ordinance, those legislators and those state senators who are responsible for it, I would hold them responsible for the crime rate increase that will happen here in Sarasota County. So for the citizens out there who are seeing this, they can call Representative Fasano and Senator Grimsley and talk to them about how they will impact Sarasota County, and they don't even live here. The commissioners of Sarasota County have created this ordinance because they live here, and they know what the citizens of Sarasota County want, and it's been vetted, and it's happening, and it's made Sarasota County better. But if the legislative body doesn't get involved and stop it, it'll be tragic for the citizens of Sarasota, Manatee County.
And talk about the ordinance and everything that has been done over the last 4 years to really drop that crime rate.
Right. The ordinance is fully encompassing, and the very nice thing about this ordinance was it was built with a work group of physicians, pharmacists, the medical examiner, the sheriff's office attorneys, the county attorneys. It was vetted. It was changed 32 different times to make sure that it met everybody's responsibilities and requirements, and to make sure that those citizens who need the Schedule II drugs have access to them and get them, but to make sure that those Schedule II drugs are not falling into the hands of criminals. And so this is a well-versed ordinance. It'd be nice if the legislative body could learn a little bit from Sarasota County, and that they would vet a law as well as Sarasota County vetted this ordinance, and see what it's done for the quality of life here in Sarasota County and mirrored in Manatee County. So this is a regional ordinance, so to speak. But at the end of the day, this ordinance was embraced by everybody. and 32 changes were made to it to make sure that nobody was overly affected by it. And it's just significantly responsible for the decrease in crime, the decrease of criminals coming into this county, and the decrease of the Schedule II drugs, the oxycodones, falling into the hands of the wrong people.
What do you hope to see for the future of not only the state of Florida, but particularly Sarasota County with this drug problem or with this bill that may or may not go through? What's your hope?
Well, if this bill goes through, it'll make sure that if this bill goes through, this will ensure that the state of Florida remains as the Oxy Express of the United States. And that you would think that the legislative body would have learned from the 1980s with the crack cocaine epidemic that Florida does not want to be ground zero for any type of drug cartels or drug problems, and that counties are taking it upon themselves to tailor their ordinances to ensure the quality of life for their counties, and that the state is going to step in and oversee the home rule abilities of a county and the quality of life, is that these individuals in the legislative body might just as well go ahead and put the stamp of approval that Sarasota County is the the state of Florida is the Oxy Express of the United States. So let's just go ahead and let the criminals keep coming to Florida. Let's not do anything about it. Let's make sure that the lobbying groups and the people who have your ears don't come out and talk to law enforcement. I would say that the people behind the bills have a duty and responsibility to contact communities. They have a responsibility to contact the local sheriffs and to see the crime reduction, to see the positive attributes that have come out of these things. And if they don't, that they're going to be the ones that I'm going to remind everybody that they are the ones responsible for the Oxy Express in the state of Florida.
And how, I guess for lack of better words, how frustrated does this make you feel? All this hard work, it's definitely shown with the crime rate reduction that it could be undone. Yeah,
it's frustrating because the crime rate reduction and that everybody accepts it and agrees to it, and you're going to have a bill go into effect that's going to remove everything that everybody has such positive outcomes over, and that it's very frustrating because this is a yearly battle of what is a reasonable right thing to do. It's common sense, and then why get involved in it when it's working? Why ruin a good thing? It's too easy to leave a good thing alone. It's too easy to do what's right. There's got to be other motives. And the motives aren't health care, because our health care providers here in Sarasota County are fine. Nobody from the health care industry has ever come to me and said that this is hurting my business. But I have had health care professionals come to me and say, thank you for protecting me. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to bring people who are doing things illegally to your attention and you dealing with it, and making sure the quality of life in Sarasota County is secured. So we'll go right back to being the Oxy Express. Our crime rate will go up, criminals will be out, more addiction will happen, and it'll just cost the state a lot more money if this preemption goes through. When I have friends of mine calling me because their daughters or sons are hooked, and when I have friends of mine going to funerals because their daughters or sons have overdosed, because they're in that age range of the most wide use abuse of it, you know, I'm a passionate person. That bothers me. So it isn't just about being a sheriff. It touches us all personally. And so to have people that I know personally, I grew up with here, affected by it, who's ruined their family, and they're addicted and they don't know where to go for help, you know there's a problem. And Sarasota County has found a way to help reduce the problem, help make it a better community, help these people out. And you have a legislative body even talking about the fact of preempting this ordinance, and that there's no way that they can tell me there's no motives behind it. Because I know better. I've been up to Tallahassee. There's always a motive. And the motive is lobbying groups and big business. So, you know, they would prefer just to be attached to that and forget about the people who are affected mostly by this. And that they want to go ahead and let Sarasota County become the Oxy Express again of the state of Florida. And I refuse to allow that to happen, and I'll make sure that the community knows who these individuals are and that they need to go ahead and remove the preemption. There's some positive things in the bill that will help the state of Florida as a cookie cutter, but preempting the counties who have already taken the initiative to make it better is just the wrong thing to do. So make it better. Don't affect the communities who already made it better. Make it better for the whole state, but don't affect the communities who have already taken the initiative to make it better.
The community out there in the public that sees this story tonight, how can they get involved to help them?
Well, I think we're all elected. I'm elected, so you know the community's involvement is simply the fact that you know I would say that everybody's elected, and that I'm elected, and my job is to make Sarasota County safe, whether it's having deputies on the street or having an ordinance created by my legal staff to address the crime issues of Sarasota County. So I would say that those individuals, the community people here who vote, whether they're voting for the sponsors of these bills or not, they need to have their message heard. In this day and age with cell phones and emails, it's very easy to get your message there. And I would hope that our local legislative delegation who are not on these committees would also make sure they talk to these individuals who are sponsoring these bills to let them know that that's not something that they want here in Sarasota County, that the county government has a great ordinance. It's made Sarasota County better, and we want to keep Sarasota County the way it is.
All right.